Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to my next review. This is for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Season 2, Volume 1 of the complete DVD box set. Now, I am going to go into a bit of a rant here. I'll forewarn you ahead of time, but I'm also going to at least go in through what I like, because for the most part, I do like this particular volume up until the end, which is where I don't care for it so much, which I will probably rant a little bit. I'm not going to go too crazy. It's pretty late here right now. It's about 15 minutes till about 1 o'clock in the morning, so I'm not going to go too crazy, but I am going to at least talk about some of the things that did aggravate me towards the end of this DVD set here. So again, this is Season 2, Volume 1. Let's go ahead and get into it. So, starting off, we get the introduction of Lord Zed in the three-part episode, The Mutiny. Wow. I wrote this in my notes, and I thought I wrote something wrong, so apologies. In the three-part episode, The Mutiny. Alright, so then later on, they have Green No More, where Tommy finally loses his powers for good. Which is kind of interesting, you know, to see Tommy have to go through that. And also throughout this little section of DVDs, Bulk and Skull are always trying to find the Power Rangers. They're trying to find their identity, and they do all these crazy things. You know, there's one where they even take a thing of sand, and I think they encase it or something in like stone, and of course they break it and it crumbles. And they always have other little things like, oh, they recorded a tape and then the tape didn't record it, or they took pictures, and I think there was one where the bird's nest with eggs fell on it and messed up the picture, things like that. So yeah, they're always just doing little things like that. Then they had the White Light two-part episode, which reveals Tommy as the White Ranger, which I actually thought was pretty good. You know, it was probably one of the better episodes of this particular part of the season. So I did enjoy that. And the only thing I don't think I enjoyed much was when he actually said Tiger Zord. All the other ones have like a real big announcement, you know, kind of a yell or a shout when they shout, you know, pterodactyl or whatever. But he just kind of goes, Tiger Zord. Like, it's just real plain. So I don't know why they didn't have him announce it or shout it more. But, again, that's just me. Episode 19, which was 2 for 1, that was the episode name, featured a new intro for the show. So because they had the White Ranger come in, they developed a new intro with the White Ranger in it, which I like that intro. You know, it looks like they put a lot of time and care into it, just like the rest of these episodes as well, the Season 2 ones with Lord Zed in the intro. They really polished the intro. You can tell, like, the camera and everything, a lot of stuff looks more polished, which is nice. Then they had a Halloween episode, which brought back some of the old monsters, which I didn't mind that. But I didn't really like the main guy, the one that, like, locked the key in there. Didn't really care for him. Oh yeah, and this also featured the new White Ranger theme song. And I wrote White Ranger Tiger Power. I don't remember exactly how it goes, but they had a Go White Ranger instead of Green Ranger. They had White Ranger. He had that whenever he was in the show, and then they put this White Ranger Tiger Power, I think, in place of it. So that was nice. This is also when Jason, Trini, and Zach are in most of the episode. They claim they're on a car trip over to the Halloween party, and then, like, towards the end, I think they just showed up out of nowhere. Like, they were teleported into that, and it's like, okay, it's Morphin time. Or they do the Thunder Zord stuff, and that's it. I think this is when they were talking about leaving the show, so that's why I think there's just that little minimalistic footage they have at the end, where they, you know, they kind of meet up there, and that's about it. So yeah. Now I'm going to get into the rant part of this video. So if you don't want to see this part, you might just want to shut the video off right now. because this next little three-parter, and in conclusion with one final episode on the last disc, are really things that bothered me. And this is kind of where I feel the show is going to go downhill for me personally. Now, I really like the characters of Trini, Zach, and Jason. Um, I don't care that it was a race issue. People were saying it's a race issue. People were saying it was a money issue. I think it was probably a little bit of both, but I think mainly it was they were getting put, on blast because, oh, hey, you have a yellow character or a Asian character playing the Yellow Ranger, and you have a black guy playing the Black Ranger, and I never really saw it as that, and I don't think a lot of people did either. I think once people started making complaints about it, then it became a problem. So I think this is kind of where they've just hit two birds with one stone and said, look, we'll get rid of you guys, replace these guys. These guys will probably do the work for cheaper, and blah, blah, blah. Now, a lot of people say that it's the movie, or excuse me, the money that caused them to quit. They wanted more pay, which I gotta say, I think that's kind of crap. I don't believe that story at all. Now, I haven't looked up the Wikipedia dates or anything like that, or just in general done any research on the actual dates, but I'm pretty sure that this was all before the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger movie. You can't seriously tell me these guys quit for money and then turn around and like, well, we quit for money, yet there's a movie coming out. You can't tell me that Fox or whoever was doing the distribution of this at the time, Saban or Fox, wouldn't say, hey, we're going to have a movie come out. You'll get paid more then. That would have been fine. But the fact that people are saying they quit because of money, I don't think that's true. I think they wrongfully fired these people. And again, that's just my opinion. I don't know the logistics. I don't know the facts. But if it was really about money, then why couldn't they have just done the movie? Why wouldn't they just say, hey, we're going to have a Mighty Morphin Power Ranger movie? Because it's kind of insulting. You have this thing where you have the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger movie and you don't have those characters that people know. So to me, it always bothered me. It really did. So here, we'll go ahead and talk about the ninja encounter. This is where we get our new characters, who I'm not too fond of. Granted, I don't mind if they wanted to be in Zeo or any other future show. That's fine. But replacing the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers with these new characters, granted, they don't do it just yet, but they do it very soon after this, and that bothers me. It really does. So let's just go ahead and start with Ninja Encounter Part 1. This is sort of where the rant begins, so if you don't want to hear this, you might as well just shut the video off, or you should have shut the video off about 3 minutes ago, because I was ranting by then. Ninja Encounter Part 1. First off, they start off with this stupid, overly long baby chase sequence. I swear this lasts like 3.5 minutes. It is so long and drawn out, it's not even funny. Like, I wouldn't even say it's funny in a practical sense or a figurative sense, any kind of sense, because it was stupid. It took forever. An average Power Rangers episode is what, like 20 or 22 minutes? And you're going to waste this much time on this stupid chase sequence. And the fact that they did a bunch of real choppy editing, and then they're like, oh, let's film the baby's feet, and let's film the baby's face, and let's film these characters. And they're riding downhill on rollerblades, and then the thing goes in the grass. How is that not slowing it down? And then they do this ridiculous jump. It's like, if you can do that ridiculous jump, why don't you ridiculously jump and get down the hill to save the baby? The fact that the dad has to call out the baby's name Jacob like 6 million times, I swear he does it at least like 6 or 7 times. He's like, Jacob, wait, my baby. And he does that like 6 times. It's like, we get it. You needed to only say it maybe once. And for the attention problem kids, twice. You didn't need to say it 6 times. It was ridiculous. They kept saying it over and over again. Then we find out who the kids are. The kids who help save the baby along with the other 3 Rangers are Rocky, who's supposed to be the replacement in the future for the Red Ranger, as you can tell from his red shirt. You have Aisha, who is the Yellow Ranger, again from her yellow shirt. And I bet you'll never guess who's going to be replacing this colored ranger, but it's going to be Adam, the black ranger, and obviously because he wears black. And of course, Rocky is a white kid. Aisha is a black woman who's going to be the Yellow Ranger, so it makes sense. So they're not taking away Zach and taking away a black person, which I think is ridiculous. They shouldn't have replaced the characters at all, in my opinion, because I like those characters. But it's like, well, see, now that we won't look racist, see, we're taking away, we're replacing a black character here. And of course, you have Adam, who I believe is Asian of some descent. I'm not sure what kind. But, right there. So then it's not like, oh, well, see, you took away an Asian character. Which, again, they don't do it in this particular volume, but it's right at the beginning of the next one. And it's pretty obvious because they start really cheapening out here in this 3-parter and then the next episode. They really, well, actually there's 2 episodes after that, but they really start cheapening out. So you have those characters. And then they have a tournament fight scene. And they do these stupid effects in there where it's like, oh, let's do these big jumps. Or there was like this spin kick that Aisha does, and it just looks ridiculous. It looks like it's got effects on it. And they don't really do the natural sort of fighting. Even in the Halloween episode, there's this backflip move. Kimberly does like 6 backflips while flying forward and then kicks the person. It's like, cool move, huh? I'm like, no, it's actually pretty stupid. It doesn't make any sense at all. Why do you need to go for unrealistic special effects sort of moves when the old moves worked great? That was one of the things that really drew me into the show. But now that you're using these ridiculous looking fight scenes, it looks stupid. And again, I honestly thought they should have had Jason, Trini, and Zach fighting Aisha, Rocky, and Adam. I think that would have been a lot cooler. Just for fun. Give them some screen time. But this is where they really start screwing over these characters. They start doing things in the next part, which is Ninja Encounter Part 2, where Zach, Jason, and Trini are shown, and Jason's voice gets dubbed while he's in the Power Ranger suit. And it sounds terrible. Horrible dubbing. Probably some of the worst dubbing I've ever heard since like a 70s overdubbed Chinese or Japanese movie. Okay, really bad dubbed. Really bad. Let's see here. Yeah, and when they're actually on screen, even if they're just Rangers, they don't really get lines to speak at all. It's just Kimberly and Billy doing the line speaking, and Tommy. It's always those 3. And if it's a section where Tommy's in the White Tiger Zord, all it is where he's, okay, well, Kimberly and Billy just talk, and then it just, you can tell. It sounds like crap. So I'm really disappointed in what they have, for these characters. There's also a line that Zach said saying, it's so cold, and they use like some kind of pitch shifting or something on his voice, and it sounds ridiculous. And of course, again, they freeze these characters, so they're not really in the show. So basically, they're frozen, they don't get any lines, they're just standing there. And that's crap. I'm sorry, they should have went out with a bang with these characters, and they really don't. They really kind of screw them over a lot of times. Then you get Ninja Encounter Part 3, and of course the stupid filler scene with Baby Jacob again. This one's with the changing scene with Bulk and Skull, and it's literally another one of those like 2 or 3 minute scenes, just pointless. Maybe it wasn't 2 or 3 minutes, but it was a pointless scene. It was long and pointless, and it wasn't really that funny. It was pretty stupid. Then they unfreeze Jason and Trini and Zach, and they still have the weird dubbing again. The new characters discover that Billy was a Power Ranger towards the end of the episode, and now they're going to replace the other 3 in the future. And you just know. They don't say it directly. So, but you can tell by how they're using and abusing the old characters that these are going to replace them. I mean, anyone can see it from a mile away. It's not hard to figure out. So that's how that is. The next episode still has the new characters, but it features the old characters in the intro. They're going to replace them eventually, but they still use like stock footage or just whatever with them in it. So it's kind of disappointing. You know, if you're just going to get rid of the characters, just get rid of them already. We don't need you dragging it on and on and on. And of course, Jason has a cameo. I think he has like a line or so, and that's it. And then I've wrote down here for the final episode, which was Z-Waves. It's the last episode on this set, and again, the characters have limited screen time. They have this thing where they're talking at the beach. I think they had that scene in one of the previous discs as well. So I think that was just reused footage again from when they're at the beach. I'm pretty sure there was something just like that, and it was just the same footage replayed again. And yeah, and then they get coincidentally possessed by Zed's monster, you know, saying "Serve Lord Zed" or whatever. Rocky, Aisha, and Adam also get into like this bind, and then Zordon teleports them. Now, from my understanding, they had to have those watches to teleport. I didn't think you could just freely teleport someone who's not a Power Ranger, and you just couldn't teleport anyone anyway. I mean, I could understand Alpha, he's a robot. That's a little bit different. But these are just random characters. So maybe I just missed something, maybe I don't understand something, but it just, to me, it doesn't make any sense. And then, of course, it featured some more terrible Jason dubbing. And I believe that's all I have for my notes. That is it. So again, I know this was a long video. I thank you for sticking with me, listening. Again, I'm very disappointed with how they handle Jason, Trini, and Zach in the show. I don't care if it was for more money. I don't care if it was a race thing. I don't care what it is. They should have just finished these characters out and said, okay, Mighty Morphin's over. Now we're going to do Zeo or something. And then, okay, we'll use these new characters. But the fact that you're replacing these characters, honestly, I've always sort of said this. This is what I would like to have seen done with it. Keep Zach, keep Trini, keep Jason. Okay? Take Billy down, like in Zeo, and put him down to technician role, and then put Adam's character, or Adam the character, as Billy the Blue Ranger. Now, I know that may sound ridiculous, but it's the only way you'd really get the best cast as far as adding a new Ranger. I mean, if that's all they wanted to do, fine, add a new Ranger. And like I said, I still don't believe that thing about the money. I really don't. If that was the case, why would they have a new movie coming out and they wouldn't offer that to him? And you can't tell me those guys are that greedy and they'd say, no, we're not going to do a feature-length movie. You know? So I don't get it. But anyway, this has gone on long enough for me personally. I'm sure it's gone on long enough for you guys. I want to thank you guys for listening. Thanks for watching. Take care. And we'll see you for the next Power Ranger video. Thanks. Peace.